Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Global Footballer Podcast. I'm Monish and with me is Deepak. Today we bring to you a quick analysis of the games that happened last week. So, Deepak, first, do you want to talk about the big game, Arsenal versus Chelsea?
Yeah, Punish, it was a good weekend in the Premier League. Arsenal, Chelsea, or Chelsea, Arsenal, technically. 2-2, really good game. I enjoyed it. Arsenal were completely absent for the majority of the game, and I think this is probably the worst I've seen them play the whole season. We'll be doing a deep dive into Arsenal later on this week, but um, that was disappointing from Arsenal. If they had somehow won it, then perhaps you could say, great teams find a way to win matches even if they're playing poorly. But to their credit, they did drag it back to a draw. But I think they should have beaten Chelsea. At least prior to the game, they should have. In the game, credit to Chelsea. I think they were really compact and their attacking players. Um, I don't think there's a defined way in how Chelsea play in an attacking sense, which is still striking, I think, especially when Nicholas Jackson is taken out of the lineup and they put in Cole Palmer there. It seemed a bit different from what they've been doing before because he sort of played a withdrawn role, and I think it was difficult to find a sense of pattern there. But overall, I think Chelsea did really well to negate a team like Arsenal, and they were good value for the win until that really poor mistake by Sanchez. Um, and But overall, I think Chelsea probably deserved the win, and Arsenal were a really poor team. What did you think, Manish?
Chelsea definitely dominated the game for the first half or more than that actually, until Arsenal substitutes came in and really changed the complexion of the game. But what I would say is, I think even David Raya made a mistake and Cole Palmer should have done better there when
Yeah,
he got the ball. Uh, it seems that Pochettino has a bit more trust in Palmer. He's giving him penalty taking duties. The penalty, we have seen
there
that
seemed a
given.
bit of a fight there. Did you notice between Sterling and Palmer? Um,
Yeah, but Palmer went took the penalty
yeah,
last game,
yeah,
so I'm assuming he has been given the duties by
yeah.
Pochettino. That's what I believe. And more importantly, the way they played, Chelsea really, I mean, they have been improving since the last two or three games. As I said, they are Sterling is streaky, and the team seems to be, playing as well as Sterling plays on that particular game. But it looks like the team seems to be having more of a spine. The second goal, Mikhailo Mudryk, I think he really needed that goal. It was definitely fortunate. Everyone knows he wasn't really trying to go for a shot, although he might claim that later. David Raya, I mean, you cannot say he was really caught out. He was trying to come out to block the cross, but yeah, he was a bit unlucky there. But if you if you look at it, he still didn't have the best of performances, did he? Uh,
No, you're
Again,
right. I think both the goalkeepers didn't have a great performances.
yeah,
Both Spanish
and
goalkeepers.
exactly. And Sanchez, yeah, he was culpable for that first goal that actually gave Arsenal an in into the game. After that, definitely Arsenal pulled the game by the scruff of the neck, and they looked like the team on the ascendant towards the end. And I mean, a champion team is not happy with the win, with just a draw. Like Arteta said later that the team really looked like they wanted to win. But Arsenal should have. I mean, if they had won this, they would have really, really, really stamped their title credentials. So,
Yeah, for
good
me, the
luck to
troubling
them.
aspect is how Odegaard seems to be a shadow of his self from last season. That's slightly troubling for Saka. Is obviously Saka. He's really good, and Martinelli seems to be on the ball as well. I think Odegaard and Jesus, both of them, are struggling for a bit of form and consistency this year. Odegaard, I believe, scored 15 non-penalty goals last season, and they need him to hit that sort of stride and that sort of consistency if Arsenal are to challenge Man City. We all
As
know
I
Man
met,
City are not going down without a fight, especially when De Bruyne and Rodri come back.
and as I mentioned, it's the main problem with Arsenal was where are the goals coming from. Last season, Odegaard did score more goals than he normally is accustomed to. Um, but I mean, let's see what happens because I mean, Trossard has been amongst the goals, not just for club but even for country. So maybe and he even scored a goal in this match. So let's just see what happens, how it pans out once Martinelli is back completely into the pitch. I mean, he's just coming off a bit of a layoff, so yeah, let's see what happens. But like you mentioned, Odegaard hasn't been his best self. Arsenal is also missing Partey, so uh, it's still too early to say. I think we will delve more into Arsenal's performance in the next coming deep dive. What about the next game, Deepak? The other derby,
Yeah,
Liverpool
Liverpool
versus
Everton
Everton.
2-0 win for Liverpool, quite an easy win if I'm being honest, especially after Ashley Young got sent off. Um, I think it was an easy win, but it wasn't a extremely convincing win per se. Liverpool did play really good football in certain aspects, but they didn't dominate Everton throughout the whole game. And I think they were lucky to not have Konate sent off, if I'm being entirely honest, because Ashley Young got two yellow cards. Konate should have gotten two yellow cards, and I think Jurgen Klopp realized that and substituted Konate as soon as he made that tackle and did not get that second yellow. Uh, I think overall a good day in the office, and I think a derby win is a derby win no matter what. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly. Because at the end of the day, we can say Liverpool are not playing exciting football. I mean, the problem is everyone expects you Liverpool to score, to bang in goals like they did when Mane, Salah, and Firmino were there. But they're
True,
doing
true.
fine. I mean, Luis Diaz really, honestly, he gave Ashley Young a very difficult time. And the reason Ashley Young got sent off, in spite of his experience, I think any other player there would have had problems with him, the way he was playing. And I mean, the penalty was definitely a penalty. There's no doubt about that. I mean, yeah, and well taken penalty, and the goal was a typical classical Liverpool goal. Darwin Nunes being the provider there, he also came in. He was substituted in. So if you look at it, Liverpool is scoring goals and they are in the top four. So they are therein and
Yeah,
thereabouts. They do not
yeah.
have the pressure of Champions League on them. I
So
think Liverpool will be in the title picture. So they are one team that is, the dark horses, because no one's really talking about them. Everyone's talking about Arsenal and Manchester City, but Liverpool and Spurs are there and thereabouts in terms of points, and they have played some difficult fixtures and they have survived. So yeah,
true, Monish. I think Liverpool are probably a victim of their own success because everybody seems to compare the Liverpool team to that team of Mane, Salah, and Firmino that you mentioned. I think it is a valid point that that comparison naturally occurs, and when they don't live up to that sort of giddy heights that they reached with that team, it's difficult for us to, sit here and say Liverpool played fantastically when we know they have played even better
yeah, but
under the same manager. Perhaps it's unfair.
considering the players that they have, I think they are really improving game by game, and they're really getting in.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not
Considering the
just
players and the change that they've done, I guess, throughout their whole
exactly.
team, they've completely revamped their attack and
Yeah,
midfield.
and I think this is only going to get better. I can see this forming into a team. I can see some hope for them, and I think if they just probably get sort out a few issues at the back, they will be really a force to reckon with.
What
So
about
yeah,
Everton? Do you think they'll be safe this season, or do you think it'll be another relegation battle?
I really cannot say. They're showing more fight than I expected them to.
Yeah.
But honestly, the Everton team, even I mean, for the second goal, the defender was just culpable there, and they don't seem to be having that quality, honestly. So I mean, I heard that they are being bought out or something of that sort. I hope that goes through for them, because uh, Everton,
Yeah,
honestly, is a
777
team
Sport,
that
I think, are in the process of buying them out, but they are a multi-club ownership model, and none of their other clubs are doing extraordinarily well, if I'm being honest. Sevilla are probably the most important or probably the most successful club among them,
I
but
think they're
they've
having a
not
bad
been
start
great
to the
this season.
season as well.
Exactly,
Sevilla.
so they have not been great this season as well. Um, but yeah, Everton, as long as they keep their strikers fit, I think they probably are going to be okay this season. Um, let's see. Anyway, moving on to the next game, Monish. I think we have Newcastle United 4, Crystal Palace nil. Another emphatic win for the Toon. What did you have to say? I can tell my thoughts after you. So you go first this time.
Yeah, I mean, Newcastle United clinical performance. They were expected to win, and again stamping their authority. So Newcastle now is clearly a force to be reckoned with. I think they are there and thereabouts. They might not yet be in the top four, but I mean, they're playing like a team that deserves to be in the top four. So I expect them to be there. I think Newcastle and Spurs will be an interesting fight for fourth this season.
Yeah,
Uh, because I mean, third and fourth, I see Liverpool, Newcastle, and Spurs there and thereabouts this season. These three teams are really doing well. Brighton
mm,
also is another team that can be around, but I don't know. I just feel that they might fall off eventually. So these are the three teams I'm looking at.
yeah.
Good
Newcastle had
win,
a
well taken goals. Crystal Palace was completely demolished in that game. Palace had beaten Manchester United recently, so yeah, uh, we know what they're capable of. But they were completely demolished, and Newcastle United really deserved the 3 points. There's no doubt on that. Gordon missed a sitter, but then he made amends for it by scoring the second goal. It was a complete performance, and yeah, Newcastle deserved the 3 points. What
yeah.
do
I
you say,
think
Deepak?
I'm I'm just astonished by the kind of attacking football we are playing. We are currently number one in the Premier League for goals scored, for expected goals, for shots on target inside the box, for shot conversion rate, for big chances created, for big chances conversion rate. That's a truly emphatic picture of this kind of performances we have been putting in throughout the season. And last year, our defense was rock solid. This year, it's the attacking impetus that has gone up a notch. And again, I know you are sick and tired of me just waxing laurels about Eddie Howe, but you have to admit the man is doing miracles with a squad which is not expected to be at that level.
See, I
You,
mean, the thing is, he's doing miracles. He's the right manager for this club, for the club where it is, what it is, what their project is. The perfect manager. You could not have gotten a better manager. There's no doubt on that. Uh, but then, it's not like he hasn't. I mean, he has gotten investments. It's not like a completely threadbare squad. All
uh,
right, and I
Jacob
mean,
Murphy, who was man of the
no,
match, has been
no,
there
no,
before that. He
no, no.
played for Norwich before that.
I get
Again,
it.
Fabian
I,
Schär, Jamal Lascelles, centre backs, who was there
I
before he came in and is absolutely the
No, I
bedrock of the team
agree.
now.
See, I agree that he has really done well with some of the players. Murphy was looking fantastic in this game. He
You cannot
deserved to
tell
be
me
the
a
man of the match.
single player who was there before he came in who has not done well under
Exactly,
Eddie Howe.
which is the sign of a great manager. He is a good manager. He has to achieve great things, but he also is getting the backing from Newcastle United. He's getting
Yeah,
the
if
backing that I
I'm
mean,
not again, I'm
and
not saying he
and I
has
am
not
very
signed
happy.
anybody, which is not the
But
point I'm
then
trying to make.
but then I'm also telling you no because I mean he's gotten the backing, but I also have to give credit to him because whichever players Newcastle have signed till now have done amazingly well. I don't think any club has had this much success with every signing they make.
Yeah.
So
Again,
that
I
is
think
what I think
his
I would give him
signing
credit for.
nature, I don't think is his credit. If I'm being completely honest, there is a robust, led by Dan Ashworth, there is a robust recruitment team who, it's not completely based on Eddie Howe at all. So I don't think that credit technically goes to him. But he has done remarkably well with anybody who's coming into the club and people who have been there before. You can't ask
I'm
much more
sure.
from a
Yeah,
manager.
exactly. I mean, there's no doubt on that. But I'm just telling that there has been investment in Newcastle United is the
Again, I
seventh
never
most expensively assembled squad. I mean,
again, I've never said that he has not spent money. He has, but he has
but he has
spent
spent it
money.
wisely, and I mean, you couldn't have had for asked for a better manager, and I completely
Also,
agree on that.
tell a manager in world football, who has gotten players that he had when he came in and improved them this much. Tell any
I
manager that
mean,
you
I'm
have.
sure there would have been some, but I probably wouldn't know about it.
No, that's why it doesn't come to your mind at all. There is not a single manager I can categorically tell you who has had such an improvement. Even players like Joe Linton, who Monish, we were utter crap.
I
We
mean,
were
see
so crap
Deepak,
that people had us
you
as
will
odds on
feel
for
that
relegation.
everybody feels the same about their club. They'll think that their manager has been
Again,
the
okay,
best and he
fine,
has
you're
always improved. But I don't think Eddie
fine.
Howe is the best manager in the world.
He
He's
cannot
not.
physically or emotionally do a better job than he's currently doing. Of course, he's not the best manager in the world because he's not won anything. Anything. So even he says that
So
his
let's
work is not
wait.
complete tomorrow because he's not won anything.
So let's just
But the
wait on
fact that
that.
what he's doing, it doesn't take much to give him that compliment,
I've
Monish. You can
always
say
given
he's
him
doing
credit.
a great job
I have
without the buts,
already
ifs, and maybes.
no. I have told you he's doing a great job, but the way you wax lyrical,
Fine,
it's a bit
I'll
much.
stop
Be
talking
honest.
about Eddie Howe at
I
all.
think you should.
Literally, the man has not put a foot wrong, and you want me to talk bad about him. You want me to talk
No,
something sad about him.
I
You
want you
think
to
we should
talk.
move on. What do you want me to
I
do?
think
I
you want to.
cannot
I
get
want you
it.
to talk less about him because I think
What,
20% of it
why?
is you.
Why can't I talk good about my club when we are performing well? I'll talk bad about my club if you're performing bad. If we
I
are in the
know.
bottom of the league, I'll say he should be sacked tomorrow. You can expect that from me. I'll assure you will say that. But when we are doing good, when we are the best attacking club in the league, I deserve the right to say that as it is. I
All
cannot,
right.
you
I
can't
totally
expect me to
agree.
say negatives and dwell on some
I
horrible negatives when we are doing so
I
well.
did not mention any negatives here. All I said is I
But
agree
then
with you.
you are telling me to stop waxing lyrics. The couple of times I talk good about him, you say no, but he cannot be like that. Oh no, but he has bought somebody else. No, but he's not a great manager. What do
He's
you
not the
want?
greatest
What do
manager
you
in the.
want him to do for him to have some sort of benefit in your eyes?
I want him to win a few things.
Yeah,
Once
but
he does
wait
that,
for it, right?
I will agree.
Wait for that. Then De Zerbi is a
Yeah,
shit manager. You said De Zerbi is a great manager. You said De Zerbi is a more underhyped manager. Why does De Zerbi qualify when he does not?
I didn't say he's the
And
best
what the
manager
hell has
also.
Erik Ten Hag won?
I never
Nothing.
said he's the greatest manager as well. What I was talking about is all I said today was Eddie Howe is not the greatest manager. And it triggered you. But he's not the greatest manager because he's not
Because you
won
just
anything. No,
don't
listen,
like giving credit
complete.
at all. It smells of it
What?
just absolutely stinks of hypocrisy
What?
that you
It's
just
not.
don't want to give credit when there is due credit needed. Come on, Monish, a team comprising of Newcastle's horrible goddamn team, which was favorites to be relegated. Jacob Murphy is the sort of player I would have never expected to play like this. For once, just concentrate on the positives when we are so good. I can't believe it.
They
Anyway,
were a good team. There's no
at some
doubt on
point
that.
we'll beat a team, and it'll be convincing enough for you to give a couple of lines of compliment.
I
I'll
have
hope for that
always given
someday.
compliments about him. I just don't think that it should go this level. That's about it.
What level?
Anyway,
Me saying two lines. He's such a good manager. He's improved play people at the club, and he has gotten so much out of the players who were there before, who were doomed to be relegated under Steve Bruce. Is that saying too much? How is that saying too much? I just don't
we'll
understand
come
it.
to Eddie Howe when he wins something. I will agree that he's one of the best managers. He's a great manager. He's probably in the top three managers of the Premier League right now. But he's not better than Jurgen Klopp. He's not
Again,
better than Pep
I'm not
Guardiola.
asking him to compete against
So,
Guardiola or Jurgen Klopp. I am not even saying he's that
so
level
then
yet.
I have
But
to
I'm just
actually
asking
talk
you to
about
say he
Mikel
has improved
Arteta's.
players. Why is it so difficult to
I
say that
agree
he
the
has improved
same
players?
because I have not seen these players much before. So I cannot tell
That's
you that.
what, that is
I'm
the
telling
point.
you.
That is exactly the point that I'm trying to make. So you do not know how bad they were. You do
Yeah, I
not know how
don't.
crap we were. You do
I
not
don't.
know how goddamn hopeless it was watching us. And now how goddamn good it is watching us. That difference is not appreciable and you will not understand it.
I
So
won't.
let me talk what I want to.
I do.
Just, you have not watched it and you are
But
admitting
no.
it.
But the thing is, you keep mentioning it like he is at the level of those two managers. He's not. And once he wins something,
Again,
I
I said
agree
he's not, yeah.
In fact,
So-
three managers because Mikel Arteta's in-game management also was very good with his Arsenal game. Let me tell you.
Again,
Anyway,
I'm not saying he's better than any of them. All I'm saying is I'm taking joy in how good he has made us from how bad we were. That's
and
all
that's
I'm
a great
saying.
thing. And that's a great thing to happen. Anyway, so moving on to, I mean, you've finished 10 minutes, honestly. So we can move on to the next team.
Yep,
Manchester
your team.
United
Go for it.
versus Sheffield United. Honestly, a very bad performance from Manchester United to tell you the least. It looked disjointed in attack. In defense, we are having a makeshift defense, and John Evans is doing a really great shift considering everything. And even Harry Maguire actually put in a decent shift. Uh, the penalty was definitely a penalty, well taken goal. Scott McTominay was lucky with a scuffed shot for the first goal. The second goal, so basically after Garnacho came in, the team looked much better. Basically, Garnacho, the problem is he doesn't seem to be looking up when he's trying to cross the ball or pass the ball or square the ball. He takes in the shot, and there were a couple of times when Rashford was probably in a better position, and there seemed to be some discontent over there. Uh, However, the penetration, the pass, and the goal was well taken. Diego Dallo actually had a very good game. Uh, Erik Ten Hag is lucky. The players delivered. Honestly, seems to be happening quite a bit, where there was nothing in his tactical performance per se that gave any confidence. What do you think, Deepak? What do you think about that game?
Yeah, I think you can look at this in a couple of ways. One is you are not having a real method about your play and you're not dominating teams. But the opposite is you're still winning games anyway, even if you're not having that. So perhaps when
Yeah,
everything all comes together, it's only going to get better.
yeah. Because
So,
at the end of it, I mean, see, Newcastle has a great goal difference, so you can add 1 point. But otherwise, United, I think Newcastle are 2 points apart.
yeah, I think
So
so. Two or
that's
three, I think
yeah,
so. Yeah.
exactly. So considering all of that, it's not really a bad position to be in, because one
Yeah.
of our rivals for fourth, which I mean, honestly, I think we are fighting for sixth this season. I don't expect us. All the three teams as I mentioned, Liverpool, Newcastle, and Spurs, I expect to be above United the way things are going, and probably United should hope for sixth, fight at least Brighton off and get some Europa League position. That's my hope this season, honestly, because I don't expect much right now.
I think, as you said, if you were to try and focus on the positive that the winning is still happening while the team is fixing on a pattern or trying to figure out a way
Yeah.
to play in every game, then when you have your players back, Varane was injured, Martinez has been injured, you have had no left back. When all
But
of that
you
come back
you
together,
you were someone who wanted McTominay in. What do you think was how do you think McTominay's
I think
performance was?
McTominay suits your play better than Mason Mount does,
Definitely
especially in
anyone
that double.
does.
I think McTominay was not great when he was given the sole midfield, defensive midfielder responsibilities. He just is not disciplined enough to do that as a sole defensive midfielder. But in a double pivot, when he's playing next to Amrabat or Casemiro, I think he makes a lot of sense.
Actually, the thing is, in this game, Casemiro and Amrabat were playing, I think, behind, and McTominay was given the freedom to play.
Yeah,
Fernandes and
exactly.
Amrabat were playing behind, and McTominay was actually given more
Exactly.
freedom
So
than both
when
of them.
McTominay is not given that sole midfielder, defensive midfield responsibility, and somebody else is taking on that responsibility, like Amrabat or Casemiro, I think Amrabat played in this game, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, and
Um,
even
and
Bruno actually started a bit behind him. Like he was giving him the
yeah,
at least when they were
also
defending. I think he
I
was
think I
giving him the.
noticed Lindelof inverting inside, which was very strange for me from left back. But probably that's how Ten Hag wants his left back to play. And Lindelof is filling in the left back role for now, so he's playing that. But perhaps when Malacia or Shaw come in, they'll be inverting into a inside role, which
I,
gives McTominay a lot
I,
more
I,
leeway. Malacia, I think they might
Malashi,
also
I
be
think, is
expecting.
slowly getting back. I think he's
Oh,
expected a
you
bit
also
more
have
earlier.
Reguilon, don't you? I forgot about him
He's
completely.
also injured.
Oh.
Exactly. So we have three left backs injured.
Hmm.
we
Completely
have two
forgot about
cent-
Reguilon.
Yeah, we have two centre backs injured. We even had a right back injured for quite some time.
And
So
Osaka.
yeah. That's the reason. I mean, the defense. Honestly, that's what I said. Maguire and Evans are doing a decent performance, and you can't expect them to press. You can't expect them to come in front. So you need a better
Yeah,
defensive performance there. I mean, honestly, United's missing Fred, and you ask any United fan, he'll agree on that. You miss, especially when you need somebody to, when your defenders are not going to be fast, you need someone running back, at least having that pace, or not pace, at least having the energy to run back.
perhaps McTominay will be your new Fred.
No, I don't think so. McTominay doesn't have that agility. Have you noticed in the box? I mean, giving up that handball. the positioning and all of that.
Yeah.
Lindelof was covering the other guy. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have the defensive awareness actually.
Yeah.
We have seen enough of him to know that he doesn't have the defensive awareness. So yeah, that's about it. But this team doesn't look like it's going to end up much ahead.
Sheffield, on the other hand, I think they look doomed
Yeah,
for the draw.
they and Luton look doomed. Burnley, honestly, they look really good, but I think they're going to go down if they just keep playing and losing games.
I
So
think
that's
Luton actually, my
have
pick
more
is
points.
for Luton to stay up because they don't play any fashionable football. They just play long ball stuff, and sometimes it perhaps pays off. Sam Allardyce made a living on that sort of football, so
Exactly, and yeah, probably. But then who would you think is going down? Everton, is it?
I think Sheffield are doomed. Burnley, if they play like this, are doomed as well. And my third pick is Bournemouth. It's just not worked for them, has it?
You just
Um,
don't like them, do you?
to, Not really. I don't have any strong feelings about Bournemouth, but I don't think they should have sacked Gary O'Neill, and it came back to bite them this week when Gary O'Neill came with his Wolves team and bet Bournemouth. So I think if I were to choose, it would be Bournemouth as the third team.
So, moving on, do you think Aston Villa probably is one more team that can be fighting for the top 5, 6, apart from the aforementioned Brighton,
Villa, I
United?
think look really good. Um, Villa look really good. Yeah, but Villa's problem is they tend to come up short when they come up against really good teams, and I need to see a bit more to say if they've actually gotten over that or not.
But then even Newcastle, in spite of beating PSG and Manchester City against teams in the league, you have actually lost to the good teams. I mean the direct rivals. I think that is where you have lost most of your
Against
points,
Man
isn't
City
it?
and Liverpool, yeah,
And
and
even
Brighton,
Brighton.
Brighton, yeah.
So you have lost
So
all the 3
you're
games
right.
against the teams that you probably should try drawing or something of that sort, because those are the
Mm.
games that really matter.
Fair point, I guess. But let's see, Newcastle have a really tough run of home games coming along, starting with Borussia Dortmund, then Arsenal, then
I
Chelsea,
think
then
Dortmund is not
Manchester
playing
United,
well this
and
season,
then
but
Dortmund
if
again.
if Newcastle beats Arsenal and Chelsea, I will say Eddie Howe is in the top 5 managers in the league. Is that fine?
No, Arsenal and Chelsea, you want us to beat.
Yeah.
Um,
You lost to 3
again,
of the direct rivals, isn't it?
again, I am not
Okay,
even
is any of the
fishing for
games at home?
compliments on whether he's top 5 or not. But for me, it doesn't matter whether how he
Yeah, for you it
ranks in the
doesn't
whole
matter
Premier League.
because you keep asking me why don't you support him, why don't you keep praising him. So
All
I'm
I'm
like, okay,
saying is
fine.
he's a good manager. If you
I
want
agree.
to say that,
Honestly, I think he's already in the top 5. But then you keep, you actually, anyways, we'll discuss on that later. All right,
Yep.
so that's it for this week. Thank you, and like, share, and subscribe.
all right. Fun episode where Monish again triggered me successfully. Well done, Monish. See you all the
Yeah.
next time. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye bye.
Bye. Wait.